Welcome to GameOver Entertainment. Today on The Walking Dead Wednesday, we're talking about another what if theory here today, and this one would have heavily affected one of my favorite characters in the game. What if Duck was never bitten? So no, ladies and gentlemen, Duck is not my favorite character. I'm talking about Kenny and how he would have been affected by having his son still in this world. So in season 1 episode 1, we were first introduced to Duck, and he is already having close calls with death. Outside the tractor, outside the pharmacy, at the St. John's Dairy. He ate the human meat. Like, how do you get that taste out of your mouth? But then his luck finally runs out in season 1 episode 3 when he gets caught up by the walker outside of the motel. But what if that never happened? We're inside of the Winnebago. We got Lily, Doug / Carly, we have Lee, we have Clementine, Kenny and his whole family, and an unbitten Duck in tow. So Duck's probably running around, talking, chatting, stuff like that. And Lily still want to find out who the hell was responsible for this. So that whole scene between Doug and Carly would still went down. But I think that Duck would have been a witness to that murder. Okay, he probably been outside or by the door checking stuff out. As curious as he is, I don't think he's gonna just hang back inside the car unless his parents told him, hey, get in here. But I don't think they felt like it was that much of a threatening situation that they thought some stuff was gonna go down that they would tell him to do that. So he would have seen that murder go down. And Kenny, he was talking about how Duck is like witnessing things and asking questions, and he wants to get Duck kind of away from that. But one thing Kenny doesn't understand right here is that you can't really get away from that. This is the way the world works. And if he actually did talk to his son and let him know what's really going on, even though I know Doug is not the smartest person ever, okay, he may have got an understanding, he may have been more cautious and just better kept him alive. All right, so that may be a fault of the parents right there, just not letting his son know what the hell is going on in the world and how to, protect yourself from it. Okay. Now, moving on past that, there would have been no Katja's suicide. All right, guys. The only reason Katja killed herself was because she didn't want to live in the world without her son being in it. So that never would have happened, and we never would have had to shoot a kid in the face. Or let his father do the deed. Probably making episode 3 one of the most depressing ever. Another thing that I don't think would have happened would have been Ben and his confession. Ben's guilt was building up, especially after the death of Katja and Duck. So he had to let it off his chest, and he told Lee what he really did. Now, if those deaths never did happen, he would still feel some type of way about Carly or Doug dying because of his actions, but I don't think it would have been enough to confess, at least not during that moment. And that decision may have came down to Lee once again, whether to kick him out of the group or still let him tag along with you, even though knowing what he's done. Another thing that we got in episode 3 that was interesting that may not have happened if we didn't get these 2 character deaths of Katja and Duck, which is Charles the Truck recommending that we cut Clementine's hair and teach her how to use a gun. Alright, one of the motivations behind Charles actually saying that because he said he's seen too many people die. He doesn't want it to happen again to another little girl. It'll probably break him. Okay, so if he didn't have those 2 prior deaths before that, he may not have felt motivated to actually say those things to Clementine, which, we would have kept the hair long. Clementine would have had no gun training, and they were moving on down the train further down the line. Alright, so Omid and Krista, they were still there. The tank was in the way, so we still ran into those guys, picked them up. Met with a much happier Kenny with his whole family in tow, and Omid, he probably, he was really surprised, seeing a kid. Kids were rare, so seeing 2 kids, he'd probably been really happy. And Katja and Krista, that could have been another reason for Krista to actually stay. Katja, she does have some medical skills as a veterinarian, so no, it's not a human anatomy that she specializes in. But as far as anyone else, she's the only one there who's actually been through childbirth. And Krista being pregnant, she may have seen some kind of asset of having someone like that around in her group. So that may have been even more of a reason for Omid and Krista to stick around. The whole altercation inside of the shed, where you're taking Clementine inside the shed, would have been a little different. This may have also been a catalyst to teach Clem how to use a gun, seeing that in a situation where she had to protect herself and she couldn't because she had no gun training. So Lee may have went and taught her there. So I think she still would learn how to use a gun. I think it just would have been prolonged just a little bit. So. And then Omid would have probably injured his leg the same way he did before. But good news, we have Katja here, so she probably been able to help him out instead of having Vernon on there, and that would have changed a lot of the story. Maybe they could have got away with the boat after saving Clementine in episode 5, because Vernon would have been there to steal the boat, and we would have gathered up everybody and we all sailed away into the sunset, living happily ever after. Not likely. Okay, that's not The Walking Dead right there, guys. Most likely, Duck and sequentially Katja would have died in episode 4 or 5. Doug was such a liability. He had no survival skills and he was always getting caught up by walkers. It's just a matter of time before he got bit like he did in episode 3. So that's coming, and then after that we got the Katja suicide scene. But hey, this is just a what if theory right here, and I want to drop one more question on y'all. Just to say, how different you think it would have been if his family, Kenny, Katja, and Duck would have made it all together to season 2. Duck being 13 years old, Duck as a teenager, I can't even imagine that right now. Him growing up, maybe learning some new things, maybe maturing a little bit. And Kenny, no beard. Sorry, the beard gotta go. The epic beard, I don't think Katja would allow it. So this theory means death of the beard if that were to happen. And but yeah, guys, this is just a what if theory, thinking about things that cannot be, and Kenny's family are going. And I have no regrets about this and Telltale's choice about what they did. It was for the best, and I think it makes for excellent storytelling. So I'm not arguing with them or disagreeing with their choices. I'm just wondering how different Kenny's life would have been if his family had been there. Alright, a man who's basically lost everything by the time it's all over with. He has hardly anything to live for, and he gets that all back. Well, the main things in his life back. His family. The stuff he cares about the most.
You sure talk a lot of shit.
What is it with you? It's your family, right?
Don't.
It is, isn't it?
I'm warning you, you little shit.
You're just another type A asshole trying to save a bunch of dead people.
Don't you fucking talk about them.
This isn't the time for this.
No, this is exactly the time for this.
You listen to me. You mouth off about my family and I will fucking end you.
And where were you when Sarita got bit, Kenny? Huh? Where were you?
Nobody who died is anyone's fault. We all wanted to be together and it just went bad. But we owe it to them to try to make the best of this.
Okay, guys. So yeah, let me know in the comments below how you guys think about this theory. Thumbs up is always appreciated. And I'm out of here.
Cool.
See you guys next week. Peace.
Pass me that can, Duck.
Duck? Who's Duck?
Duck was his son.
I miss my boy. I miss him so much. I didn't raise him like I should've. Made mistakes. Wasn't there a whole lot for a couple years. Off on a boat somewhere or other. I thought I enjoyed that time away from him. From my family. But I'd give anything for one more second with them. To play catch with Duck. To touch Katja's face. Anything in the world.
I miss Duck too. He was a good friend. And I haven't had too many of them.
He was a good boy. Pure. Just wanted folks to be happy, that's all. Boy like that. Thrown into a world like this. It's gonna be different with him. He's gonna get raised right. I won't make the same mistakes again. That's a promise. You should get back over by the fire. Ain't no sense in both of us being over here. I can handle watch on my own.
The baby might be cold.